What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be doing a short tutorial on underhanded rotational knife throwing. Stick around. As always, if you're new to 411 Outdoors, I'd be honored to have you as a subscriber, and I will greatly appreciate you supporting my new channel. Now let's get started. So one of the major limits to rotational throwing is distance. You have to be standing at the right distance, otherwise the knife's not going to have time to make its rotation. You can do a half spin underhand or a full spin underhand. For me, whenever I'm doing a half spin, I always hold the end of the blade. Whenever I do full spin, I switch and hold the handle. So before we talk about distance, let's talk about how to hold the blade. Now I'm using a Smith & Wesson throwing knife here. Now for half spin, the blade is the side I'm holding. Okay, I've got it in between my thumb and my middle finger, and it's balanced by my index. Now for full spin, it's the same. When I switch to full spin, I have it between the thumb and the middle finger, balanced by my index. So now at this time, I'm going to demonstrate just a few throws underhanded, going to be about 6 to 7 feet away from my target. What we're doing here is just like I showed you. Going to be holding the blade between my thumb, middle finger, balanced by my index. So just a quick recap. So 6 to 7 feet from your distance, holding it the way that I showed you. As far as your release, you may be asking about that, when to release it. Well, one of the things you got to be careful with underhand throwing is to not, fall for the trap of feeling like you need to let it go too early or let it go too high. Really connect with where your target is, and just a nice level release will work for you, because when that knife comes out of your hand, it will fly pretty level, as you can see from the clips. So you just want to kind of look at your target, kind of identify where it's at, and a nice level release. You don't want to release low. You don't need to do that. You don't want to release too high. Just a nice level release, and go ahead and let the blade go. Before I get into full spin demonstration, there is one thing I don't want to forget to mention. Now, where you hold the blade makes a little difference in your distance as well. For example, I was just throwing like this a moment ago. I was kind of holding more toward the end of the blade, and I was at about 6 or 7 feet. I was able to hold it here and get a little bit closer. Okay, I was able to get a little bit closer going underhand by choking up on the blade some. That closes the distance. This right here requires about 6 or 7 feet, but you can close the distance in like this. Now it's the same way with full spin. If you're going underhanded holding the tip of the blade like this, you're going to need 12 to 13 feet. Well, you can close the distance a little bit by choking up on the blade, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're throwing, and practice and play around with it. You can kind of figure out pretty quick where you need to be standing. So that was holding the middle of the blade. As you're going to see with these next throws, I'm going to hold more like the end of the blade. It's going to require me going back further. All right, so what we learned was, holding it here versus holding it here, about 6 inches. It wasn't a whole lot of difference. When I hold the end, I had to be about 6 inches further out, but if I wanted to close in the distance, I could choke up on the blade a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, my friend. I hope this was helpful to you. The key to knife throwing is practice, just getting out and practice. It takes a lot of time to get good at it. It's one of those things you just kind of have to settle in and do. But hopefully this video has given you enough tools to start throwing underhanded if that's been a struggle for you. It's a lot of fun. I don't find underhand throwing to be quite as powerful. It's smooth, it's fun, it's nice to have in your arsenal. And I do think with enough practice over time, power can be increased. But, when it comes to knife throwing, it's cool to be able to do as many kind of throws as you can. So I hope this helps you a lot. Leave some comments. Let me know if you found this resourceful. Take care.